Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to deconstruct a source you'd probably never think twice about, the website for a local business. And I promise you what starts out looking like a simple plumbing issue turns into this absolutely fascinating journey into local history.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You hear that slow gurgle from the kitchen sink, or you're standing in a puddle in the shower. This quote from the website, it just sets a super familiar, very practical scene. It's that universal headache that makes you finally pick up the phone and call a plumber.
And the subject of our deep dive today is Dr. Drain. They're a drain cleaning service based in Wheeling, Illinois, which is a suburb of Chicago. Now, on the surface, it's exactly what it sounds like. But as we're about to see, there's a lot more flowing underneath. So let's start with the basics. Okay, so as you start digging into the site, you find exactly what you'd expect to find. It's a clean, professional website designed to solve some very specific, very annoying problems for the folks in its community.
The services they offer are pretty much the usual suspects. You've got your basic drain cleaning and repairs, and then the more heavy-duty stuff like sewer services for bigger issues. They've even got high-tech video inspections and pump services. It's the whole A to Z list of solutions for anything that's clogged up or broken down.
But here's where it gets a little more interesting. The website doesn't just try to sell you stuff, it actually tries to educate you. It moves into explaining the why behind the problem, breaking down the anatomy of a clog to help you understand what's really going on inside your pipes. Now this is what I think is really cool. The site gets specific to its location. Of course, it lists the universal culprits, right? Kitchen grease, hair, we all know those. But it also specifically calls out tree root intrusions and hard water mineral deposits. And those are issues that are often tied to a region's specific environment and how old the houses are.
And they lay out this really clear, professional process for the customer. It's not just some vague promise like, yeah, we'll fix it. No, it starts with a real diagnostic, often with a camera. That leads to a clear assessment and a transparent estimate. And then the work begins. It's all about building your trust through a clear, straightforward process.
Okay, so far so normal, right? It's a well-made, informative website for a local plumber. We've talked about services, common problems, professional standards. But this is where our whole explainer takes a sharp, really unexpected turn. Which, of course, begs the question, what on earth does any of this have to do with 19th century taverns?
Because, and you can't make this up, buried right there on the site, next to all the tips for preventing clogs, is a detailed, really well-researched history of the village of Wheeling. It's a total shift in topic that's as surprising as it is fascinating. And this timeline just shows you how deep the website actually goes. We're talking a history that stretches back over 300 years. It acknowledges the lands controlled by the Miami Confederacy and the Potawatomi people, then moves to the first permanent settlers in the 1830s, and it goes all the way up to the demolition of a historic hotel in 1996. And the site gives some real attention to the Potawatomi people. It notes that they controlled this huge territory that included northern Illinois before any European settlement. It even mentions their descendants now live on a reservation in Kansas. I mean, that is an incredible amount of specific historical context for a plumber's website.
And boom, there it is, the answer to our question. The website tells us that way back in 1834, a guy named Joseph Filkins opened the township's very first tavern hotel. And that place became the absolute center of town, even serving as the first post office. A plumber's website is also a local history archive. Wild.
So why, right? Why would you combine modern plumbing problems with deep historical roots on a single web page? Well, it turns out there's a really clever strategy at play here, connecting the town's oldest stories to its most modern problems. Let's break down how they're doing it.
This slide really just captures the dual identity of the entire website. On one side, you've got these high-tech, 21st century solutions like hydrojetting and video inspection. And on the other, you have this deep respect for 19th century landmarks and Native American heritage. The crucial point here is understanding that these two columns aren't separate things. They're actually designed to reinforce each other.
See, this isn't just some quirky add-on. It's a brilliant strategy. Including this history builds an immense amount of community trust. It basically screams, hey, we're not some faceless company. We're deeply invested in this town's story. It proves they have undeniable local roots. And on a purely technical level, all that unique content is fantastic for their SEO. But maybe most importantly, it's just a really powerful form of digital storytelling. So let's zoom out for our final takeaway. The surprising story of Dr. Drain's website isn't really just about one company. It's about the hidden potential inside all these digital spaces we click through every single day.
This is the core lesson right here. A website doesn't just have to be a digital brochure that lists products and prices.
It actually has the power to be an archive of local knowledge, a storyteller that preserves a town's past, and a genuine pillar of its community, showing an investment that goes way beyond just business.
And that brings us to our final thought. This fascinating piece of local history was just hiding in plain sight on a plumber's website. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What other hidden stories are out there waiting on the websites you visit every single day? Thanks for joining me on this one.